Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3, and finally, this is going to be the top 5 of the month for the month of March. And this is a very weird mix of films, I must say. So I've seen all types of films this month actually. So without further ado, let's begin with the list. So first off, at number 5 is a film which I do not have in my collection. I don't think they ever got a release like anywhere because this was like a made-for-TV film from 1984, and the film is called Hockey Night, which is about um, this little girl that like travels to this new town, so that she moves there with her mother, and I think it was her younger sister as well. I can be so wrong about this, but and she wants to try out for the hockey team, but when she's told by a friend that there is no like female hockey team at this town, she just feels like, oh, what should I do next? So she pretty much just tries out with the boys, and of course there's some tensions in between because just because she's a girl, she can't be a goalie and all of that. So it just gets a little bit tension between her and the coach and the guy that sort of like manages this whole team. So it's pretty much her struggle to stay in the team and to convince the other people that she's actually a really great goalie, even better than some of the other goalies out there. So I think this is a really great film and really sort of like a feel good type of film as well. I'm a big fan of hockey myself. I mean, I don't play hockey, but I love to watch ice hockey. So overall, yeah, Hockey Night at number 5. Then at number 4, I mean, the next four films I have in my collection is that I have in my collection that is included in this list I actually have on DVD. So first up at number 4 though is a really wacky weird film by Herschel Gordon Lewis. The film is called Color Me Blood Red, which is the last part of his Blood trilogy, which started with Blood Feast and continued with 2000 Maniacs and then ended of course with this one. This, I must say though, I've heard so many mixed things about this, but I would probably say this is like almost my new favorite Herschel Gordon Lewis film. I mean, I do like 2000 Maniacs a little bit more than this, but I think this is much better than Blood Feast, but maybe that's just me. Um, so it's basically about this guy that's like sort of a painter, and he has like really no, he doesn't really have that good, he doesn't get that good reviews of his paintings. So it's like figuring out like what should I do next. So he just goes totally crazy and kills his wife or girlfriend. I'm not really sure which it was, but and he starts to paint with her blood on the new painting. So that's like his new thing, to paint with like human blood. So before this happens, he actually like cuts himself on the hands and all over the place just to get some blood on the paintings, and it just gets worse and worse from there. I'm not going to spoil anything else other than that, but if you are a fan of Herschel Gordon Lewis films and you haven't seen this one, check this one out. I think this is really hilarious and really funny. I mean, that's another thing with Herschel Gordon Lewis in general, I would say, is that he has a really great mix of comedy and horror. Now, I'm not saying that this film is any masterpiece or anything, but it is such great entertainment. So, yeah, Color Me Blood Red. Laughed out loud a lot of times while I watched this. So, yeah. Then at number 3, we have a Danish crime comedy type of deal. I'm not really sure how you could categorize this, but action comedy maybe. The film is called Flickering Lights. I'm not too sure if this is released like anywhere else outside of Scandinavia, but if you are able to find this with a subtitled version, like English subtitles, go ahead and pick it up. Because I thought this was a really hilarious, funny film. It's about these criminals that pretty much like steals this bag of money. So I think it's pretty much like drug money or something, that they're supposed to pick up this bag for a mobster, like a gang leader, basically, and they just decide to take the money and try to leave the country. But before that happens, they get trouble with their car and they get stuck out in the middle of nowhere, basically. So yeah, this is a really entertaining action comedy type of deal. I would say it's more of like a crime comedy more than an action film or anything like that. But the dialogue in this is really great as well. Maybe just because I think Danish language is a little bit fun to listen to from time to time. I know that sounds really weird to say, but yeah, Flickering Lights. This is a really entertaining comedy film, I would say. So yeah, Flickering Lights from 2000, I believe it's called. 2000 it's called. I think it was released in 2000. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, that's at number 3. And at number 2 is a film which I actually do have in 2 different editions. The reason why I picked this one up was because it had Swedish subtitles, and I don't think this has ever been released here in Sweden, except for like an old VHS or something. But I also have the Shameless box set of all 3 films. But now enough about that. At number 2 we have 1990, The Bronx Warriors. And this is directed by Enzo G. Castellari, and I think that's the same guy who directed the original Inglourious Basterds film, because this also has Fred Williamson in it, in a not a that big role, but a pretty damn funny role, I must say. And this film feels so damn dirty and filthy, so you can just feel like, because they actually did film this in the Bronx at the time, and at that time it was just infested with rats and infested with criminals and drug dealers all over the place. So it's about this gang of bikers basically, and there's like a girl there that just escapes from the big town, or like the Big Apple basically, into the Bronx, because she's like a descendant or something of someone, or like she's gonna like inherit some sort of like weapon factory, and she just gets out of there because so many people are after her, so she decides to hide in the Bronx of all places. So I think it's like the government that sends out this vigilante type of guy that's played by Vic Morrow, and I think that's so damn eerie in a way as well, because I think at one point Vic Morrow says, well, we're gonna fly in by helicopter. And just knowing what happened with him, like just like a couple of months after this was released, yeah, you already know probably the story, the tragic story of Vic Morrow. But yeah, overall this film, The Bronx Warriors, if you like Italian 80s cheese, 80s action type of deal, you would really like this one. I really enjoy this really much. So I'm really looking forward to see the rest of the trilogy basically, even though I've heard the third one has next to nothing to do with the other 2. So yeah, The Bronx Warriors, 1990, The Bronx Warriors. So that's number 2. Then at number 1 is a film that I watched on TV actually, and right after I watched it on TV, I was like, I need to get this on DVD or Blu-ray ASAP, like as soon as possible. And when I searched everywhere, I couldn't find it. I just thought, well, maybe they never released this over here. But just by chance, I found this secondhand, like from a seller that sold this really cheap. I'm like, what the hell? This is released here in Sweden, so I was really glad about that. But the film is called Sling Blade from 1996, directed and starring Billy Bob Thornton. This film is such an emotional type of deal, because it goes like up and down, and there's some hilarious parts in it, and there's some really tragic and sad parts in this one as well. So it's basically about Billy Bob Thornton's character. He is like sentenced to like 25 years in mental hospital for a pretty grisly murder. We never know who he really kills until later on in the film, which I'm not gonna spoil. Oh man, now I think of it, I think they actually do reveal it right away who he killed. But yeah, it's pretty much like his struggles to try to get back in society and all that. So he meets all of these really interesting characters. That's another thing which I really like this. There's next to no boring or annoying character in this. I mean, there is annoying characters, but they're meant to be annoying, if that makes any sense. But if you haven't seen this one, go check this one out. This is amazing, and this was apparently also awarded 1 Oscar for best director, I believe. So yeah, Sling Blade, number 1. I loved that film. So that's all of the films that I watched during March. Not all of the films, but the best films I've watched during the month of March, which I've never seen before. So next video, I'm not really sure what the next video is going to be about. Probably like another update video, or maybe I mean, I have a pretty many films that I need to show you, but I also have another idea for a top 10 list. Or maybe not a top 10 list, but like a... Yeah, I don't really know what I'm talking about right now, so I should just end the video right away. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and keep your eyes open for the next video, and see you next time. Bye-bye.